All right, welcome into the Utah men's basketball profile session. And our first profile this fall, as we head into fall, is a guy that's beginning his second year with Utah basketball. That's Brendan Wenzel, who joins us right now as we catch up a little bit. I haven't seen Wentz since Las Vegas, the day that Utah got beat by Oregon State. That was kind of the day everything began to come to a close. Wentz, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing terrific. So let's walk back in time for a minute. I mentioned I haven't seen you or anybody basketball-wise, at least in person. I've talked to a lot of people, but I haven't seen anybody since that last day of basketball in Las Vegas. What's life like been for you for the last 6 months or so?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. OSU seems like so long ago whenever we lost that game. But no, so I flew back home, and, it was just working out here and there, but I was just glad to see my family again. We were just bonding because I hadn't been home for a while. I don't think I had been home since Christmas that time. And so, it was nice getting back and being with some of my friends and stuff. And I know I couldn't see, a lot of my friends because of all the corona stuff and being quarantined and all that.
How long did it take you to adjust? I mean, how long did it take you to adjust to what we're calling now the new normal? A lot of what you guys do anyway, you do a lot of schooling, especially with basketball on the road. You guys take your laptops and do a lot of mobile classwork, but you had to finish the entire semester online. You weren't with your team. You were off campus. You'd kind of moved back to San Antonio again. So how long took you to kind of feel normal and settle into a routine?
It's honestly still not normal to me because, whenever I leave and go places, I still be forgetting my mask sometimes. And then I got to go to the store and get a new mask. But, I mean, I'd say I've gotten used to it, just the whole not seeing a whole lot of people except for the people that are in my inner circle, my team and stuff, all my coaches and stuff. But I've gotten used to the online school. I think it's a lot easier, to be honest, instead of having to go, because you can do it whenever you want, I just think it's a lot easier than going into class. But other than that, quarantine and COVID and all that, I'm kind of just used to it now. It's just, like you said, it is a new normal and it sucks, but I mean, we're getting through.
Well, that's the young guy attitude versus the old guy attitude. I would have needed to be in class. I couldn't have learned. I needed to be in front of the teacher every day and taking notes. You guys are so used to doing everything online now. It's just second nature, right?
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't mind going into class and, being interactive, but at the same time, online class just suits me better.
So you've been back on campus now for a while. What was it like when you came back? You'd been away for a while. And what was it like when you finally got to be in the gym again and be around the fellas and get out there, play a little bit of basketball? It's been a while.
Yeah, I know. It was really nice. It was something I was looking forward to for those 3-4 months that I was home. I was just ready to get back with the team and we'll get ready to work. But whenever I got to Utah, I had to quarantine for 2 weeks. And so that wasn't really fun because I didn't really see nobody. But after that 2 weeks was when I started to work out and stuff like that and being with the team. And we slowly just got into it and everybody started coming back. And it's really nice to be back with the team.
And for you especially, because I'm going to guess for the first time in a lot of years, you weren't able to play last year. You practiced, but you weren't able to play in games. So I know you've been looking forward to this year and being able to be out on the court in games and not just in practice, right?
Yeah. No, honestly, I think we're going to be really good this year because I'm really looking forward to this year. And then all this COVID stuff's happening. But, I mean, we're still, in the gym every day with each other and we're all getting better. So I know that's a fact.
How tough was the decision last year? I know coaches came to you and you came to the coaches and your mom and dad were involved a little bit too. But, anybody that comes to college, anybody that's a competitor wants to play. So what went into the thought last year behind redshirting, and are you glad you did it?
Well, Coach mentioned it at the Mississippi Valley State game, and I was like, I wasn't really trying to do it, but then I talked to my family after, and I talked to the coaches, and they started to remind me that, I need to see the bigger picture here. And so, honestly, redshirt year is actually really great because you get an extra year of education and you get to progress through the whole year and work on whatever you need to work on to prepare for the next year. So honestly, I think that's what I did. I used my redshirt year for the better, and I think I really got better.
A lot of people watching this, Wednesday, don't get to come to practice, and they only get to come to games and see the Utes play, and they saw you kind of over cheering your teammates on last year. So for those that aren't familiar with the game and didn't go down the YouTube rabbit hole and watch some of your old highlights from high school in San Antonio, give our Utah fans an idea of what your game is like and what you're hoping to show on the court this year and where you kind of play.
So my strong suit is shooting. I've been a shooter my whole life, and then high school I started to grow like a lot. Like I was like 5'6" as a freshman in high school, and then I think sophomore year I shot up to like 6 foot, and then my junior year I went up to like 6'3", and in my senior year I was like 6'4", 6'5", and now I'm like 6'7", I think 6'7" with shoes on at least. So I'm a shooter, but also I have size, and so I feel like I could do a lot of things, especially defense, use my body, things like that. But no, I think I can bring a lot to the table.
You came in as a shooter. What did you spend last year in practice and now the last few months without being on the court with your teammates? But, what have you spent time working your game on with your game?
Defense, for sure, because coaches talked to me about that last year. In order to play, you got to play both ends of the court. And, it's just different coming from high school because I was able to guard anybody. Coming from high school to college is so different. And that's what that redshirt year helped with because I practiced and worked, like, really hard that whole year. And now, I can see my progression because I'm playing better defense. I also worked on my handle and, like, attacking the basket and things like that, started to use my body more.
Brendan Wenzel, I got to ask you, I like to step back in time in these interviews a little bit. You mentioned in high school, you were one of the late additions to the recruiting class a year ago. You came out of San Antonio, a very highly touted prospect out of the state of Texas. But, a lot of people you see commit the year before. Sometimes they'll commit in the fall, sometimes spring. You were a little bit late. So walk us through your journey and how ultimately Wenzel and Utah basketball kind of came together.
So I think I committed to UTEP either late junior year or beginning of senior year. I forgot, but things, I was getting ready to go to UTEP and all that, and then things happened, like with the coaching staff and all that. I'm not really going to get into detail because I'm not sure it should be published, but like things just happened. And so I talked to my family and I talked to some of my trainers and stuff like that, my friends, and I thought it was the best idea to decommit and ask for my letter of release from UTEP. And then after that happened, it had been like a couple of days. It was because I was playing my senior year and I was doing really good. And all of a sudden these higher schools started to contact me, Utah being one of the first ones. It was like Utah, K-State, Texas, all like bigger schools. But Utah was one that showed most interest. I had been looking it up. Kuz is one of my favorite players to watch. And, I knew that he went to Utah. And so, just from there, I went on my visit. I really liked it here. All the guys made me feel welcome and the coaches, and I could see myself fitting in here. So that's kind of why. It was just
San Antonio, Texas is a little different than Salt Lake City, Utah. What was your first impression of the city and campus and the facility when you came?
First of all, the facility was stupid nice, like so nice. And then the second thing that I noticed was all the mountains and stuff and the weather. Is I really like the mountains. Like sometimes whenever I'm driving, I still be taking pictures of the mountains and stuff. But like the weather too, the weather's really nice here because it's got no humidity. Whereas back in San Antonio, it'd be like 95 and feel 110. I really like it here. And the snow doesn't really bother me all that much. I only slid like 2 times last year, but it wasn't like super serious. It was just a little bit, but I wasn't used to it. But no, honestly, I really like being here at Utah. A lot better than I thought I would because I knew I'd like it, but honestly, I love it.
It's funny because I grew up in the Midwest in Kansas City, and you don't miss humidity, do you? Once you get out of it, you're happy it's gone.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, this team coming back this year. I know the coaching staff's really excited about it. You guys bring back just about everybody from a year ago. Booth obviously transferred out. Timmy's back. The only one senior. Fonts is the only senior. A lot of camaraderie on this team. People have told me that you guys feel really, really close. So give me an idea of how the workouts have gone and how close is this team?
I think we're going to be really good just because last year, like, so we had like 9 freshmen. So, I mean, we're going to be together for a long time. And so I feel like we're going to be really good over the years. But last year we did better than I thought we were going to. And preseason play, I know we messed up a little bit of conference play, but like other than that, I thought we were playing really well for being most freshmen, you know? And so now that I think everybody's like gotten used to, you know, college and like knowing what to do and stuff like that, and we're like hella bonded. Like all of us are super close and all that. And so I feel like that's what's going to separate us from the other teams.
Yeah, the league's going to be good too this year, so there'll be a lot of competition. You've mentioned COVID a couple of times. It's part of where we are right now in the world in 2020. You guys won't play till at least January 1st, but that's nobody will play in the Pac-12 till then. You know, what have the coaches kind of told you, and how are you guys preparing yourself knowing that the world's a little bit different? Are you just kind of hanging loose and rolling with the punches? How's the preparation going?
They just said that we're going to do what we do. You know, we're going to work out and we're going to get better each and every day, and we're going to lift and we're going to better each other and ourselves, and we're just going to get ready because, you know, I don't think most teams in the conference really expect us to do much. And so that's where I'm really like ready to, you know, hit them and, you know, like show people what we can do.
Your chance to debut in a Utah uniform, your chance to kind of show the Pac-12 a little something. Where do you feel comfortable playing right now? Where are the coaches playing you? And, you know, what's kind of your natural position?
My natural position is a 3, just because, you know, I've got bigger size and stuff like that. But, you know, talking about like adding to my game, I've been working on like my post moves and stuff like that, just in case I get put down in the post, because I can guard multiple positions and stuff like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm always working on my shooting because, you know, that's what I'm best at. You know, I got to stick to that. But no, I think we're going to be really good, honestly. Like, I'm really excited for January.
I can tell you are excited. I'm excited, too, to call the games. The one thing that I think stands out about the roster, Brendan, is you guys are pretty versatile. There's a lot of interchangeable parts. Guys can play in different positions. You know, Ryland's a point guard, but you could probably slide him over. He's a good enough shooter to play the 2. Yeah. You know, Timmy's a guy, if you guys went small, where maybe he could play the 4, you could slide in and play the 3, or vice versa. It feels like this is a pretty interchangeable roster. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, that's why I think we're going to be really good, because we each know different positions and stuff like that. We can all play different positions. And so that's why I'm telling you, that's the separator. And because we're so young and we're all really close, oh, man, I'm excited.
Well, if you can tell, I think Utah fans are excited to see you this year, too. Before I let you go, you come from a basketball family, don't you? I think your dad played a little college basketball. I think your mom might have played some college basketball. And you mentioned your sister early on. From what I've read, she's a pretty good baller herself. So what was it like growing up in the Wenzel family with all the basketball? Was there good driveway games?
Well, actually, we lived on a really busy street, so we couldn't have a hoop on our sidewalk. But we had an elementary school that was right across the street, and so we'd always go there and work out and shoot and all that. But, yeah, it's been basketball our whole life. My dad played at Concordia, and my mom played at McMurray. And then my sister, she's only a junior next year, but she's got offers from all the Power 5 schools and stuff like that, so she's going to be really good. I wouldn't say she's better than me, because I beat her every time we play one-on-one, but, I mean, she's really good for her age.
Well, I would hope you would beat your sister in one-on-one since you're older, but that aside, if we're lining the family up and playing a little horse or lightning or even having a shooting contest with dinner or lunch on the line, who's winning?
Okay, for some reason, every time we play horse, my dad always wins. I don't know how. I know I'm the best shooter in the family, but for some reason, he always wins, and I don't understand it. But I'm a close second.
And where do your mom and sister line up after that?
My mom doesn't really, like, shoot with us anymore. She's more like, you know, helping us rebound and telling us what to do and stuff like that. But if we play horse, it'll be me, my dad, and my sister. My mom's a good shooter, too, though.
That sounds like a mom, though, doing some coaching, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
All right, before we go, tell Utah fans why you're so excited to get on the floor with this team this year.
Excited because we're gonna make an impact. You know, we're gonna do what we do. We're gonna surprise a lot of people.
Awesome. Well, that's Brendan Wenzel. If you hadn't seen him before, you're going to get a chance to see him and his teammates on the floor beginning January 1. We hope that's when activities can resume in the Pac-12 conference, and we hope that's when men's and women's basketball and a lot of sports come out. Wentz, thanks. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.